Hello and welcome to the Scholar Progenium. Today we've got another exciting version 3 bolt action battle report, as this week the Brits and the Italians go head to head in the deserts of North Africa. First up, we have the Brits. Now, this is not a refined list by any means. This is kind of the spark of an idea, just something I have in mind as an interesting force. So it's 3 platoons, only 15 dice, but I'm hoping it works as some kind of interesting combo, as we'll see as we go through in more detail. So starting off, we have, of course, a rifle platoon. In that rifle platoon, I have 3 squads of 6 veterans, with 2 LMGs in each, and that's led by a regular platoon commander. However, attached to the force, I also have a company commander on his own, but he's going to be making use of a spare recce Bren. I also have in the list, in the rifle platoon, but also in a recce platoon, from the 2 of them, 2 forward artillery observers. So we're just going to be hammering those Italians with artillery barrages all game, hopefully. Then we have a recce platoon. Now, we've got 10 Gurkhas in a truck with recce. We've got, they're also accompanied in that truck by a veteran platoon commander. He's not got a friend there, so I need to take him out. He's on his own. Then we also in that recce platoon have another Bren with recce, and this time with a regular Piat team in, just to make a nuisance of ourselves against armour. And then speaking of armour, we also have a small, light armoured platoon of a Stuart with the extra machine gun upgrade and a Humber Mark IV. So he's got the light anti-tank gun and coaxial machine gun. So hoping to do some snap twos with the infantry, make a nuisance with the Gurkhas, and just support all that with a couple of light armoured vehicles. We'll have to see how it works, and we'll have to see what we're up against. Next up, we have the Italian list. Now, this is an interesting list in that it's JP's transitional list over to version 3. He's not really added any units to his Italians yet, but he's just using what he's got. He's putting it together into a list, but it's looking strong nonetheless. He's got, I think, 14 or 15 dice here. He's got 4 platoons. We'll have a look in a bit more detail. So, of course, a rifle platoon starting off. He's got a regular officer on his own with a rifle, and he's got 3 squads of infantry. The first squad of infantry is a Basigliari squad, so they're veterans with an LMG and rifles. Then he's got 2 squads of 8 regular riflemen with an LMG in each squad. Moving on, he's got a recce platoon. This is led by an officer, 3-man veteran with SMGs and a recce car. Also in that recce platoon, he's got a squad of 8 veteran Paraducci in an armoured transport with an LMG. They've got a Panzerfaust and 7 SMGs. Moving on to the armoured section, we have an M1542 in the centre there. That's 2 hull-mounted MMGs, 2 coaxial MMGs and a light anti-tank gun. He's then got the AB41, the auto blender as we call it, and that has an autocannon in the turret, and it's got a rear-mounted machine gun as well on the hull. And then finally he's got the L640. That's a 1-man turret light tank, and it's got a light autocannon with a coaxial medium machine gun on it. So a nice combination of cheap light armour there. Then let's have a look at the final platoon, which is of course the artillery platoon, and they're very straightforward in this platoon. He's got a regular officer with a rifle, and then he's got a super heavy anti-tank gun. We're using the Flak 88 model here, but it's only got 4 crew, and then he's got a medium howitzer, again with 4 crew, just to start lobbing those shots, and he's actually taken a spotter with a spare 10 points. So even if you can't do direct fire, you can lob shots and of course ignore cover with that 3-inch template. Join us at the field of battle after deployment. Now we've rolled off for a random mission, and we've got what looks like it's going to be a fun game here. We've got standard deployment, nice and straightforward, just along the long table edge with your units up to your whole army being allowed 12 inches on from your table edge, and you can have up to half units rounded down in reserve, although we've elected to just get everything on the battlefield straight away. Now in terms of scoring, it's very straightforward. In old money terms it's double envelopment, but the rules have changed a little bit. It's now still 3 points for running one of your units off the opponent's board edge, but now there's no points for kills, and you only get 1 point for a unit ending the game wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. Now let's take a look at the terrain in a bit more detail. We wanted to play out in the middle of the desert, no civilization in sight. However, we have converged on this vital oasis in the middle of the sands, and this, we're counting the oasis itself as one continuous bit of difficult ground, soft cover, dense, obscuring, so to speak, terrain. So you can shoot across it and so on and so forth, but it's a sort of dense jungle around that bit. Then we've got other bits of palm groves just sprouting around this area of the desert. They're dense terrain, soft cover. There's a couple of rocky outcrops that are hard cover snuck in on both sides of the board, but essentially they're obscuring palm grove soft cover and difficult. We've then got a couple of sand dunes. Again, area terrain, again soft cover, again difficult ground, but this time not obscuring. You can imagine it's soft sand dunes. Troops in it can sort of dig themselves a hole, scoop sand in front of them hurriedly as rounds crack over their heads, but overall wheeled vehicles can't make it up the dunes. Talking of wheeled vehicles, I've got my truck, we'll go on to the deployment now, full of Gurkhas and an officer, just hidden behind Palm Grove on the left flank. I've then got 2 squads of veteran Tommies with their LMGs, just hiding behind the dense oasis. I've got of course over here, I've got a forward artillery observer as well, just looking down the left flank, and then I have my second forward artillery observer looking down the right flank, accompanied by a platoon commander and then my company commander in his recce Bren, just hidden behind that rocky outcrop, but within shouting range of plenty of units. Then on this right flank I have a squad of veterans, I have a Stuart, I have a Bren with a Piat in, and I have a Humber Mark IV, just all hidden away behind this bit of dense palm grove, waiting to see what happens with the airstrikes and what the Italians do. Now, the Italians have a very interesting setup on their side of the board. One of the Italian special rules is that they can start multiple units in ambush, and they've started an ambush with their armoured car on the right flank. They've also got a squad of regular riflemen with an LMG on ambush, and they've got their autocannon tank on ambush, all in a palm grove on the right flank. Then in the middle of the board they have their howitzer just snuck in behind a bit of hard cover and a bit of soft cover, looking down the right flank. They've got a squad of Basiglieri veterans looking to take control of the oasis with an officer backing them up. And then on the left flank they've got their super heavy anti-tank gun looking down the left. They've got their M15-42. They've got another squad of regulars. They have their Paraducci in their armoured transport and their veteran 3-man officer squad. Both those vehicles are recce. First dice of turn 1, and it's the British. We're going for a snap 2 with our company commander. We're pulling 4 dice out the bag. We're going for this veteran platoon here. Ford artillery observer, and then another veteran squad and a Stuart as well. First off, we're going for a burst of 8 shots with our LMGs. Over at the Italian regular squad, they've elected to go down. It's going to be 8 shots on 4s. Not a great burst, only 2 hits, but we forced them down.
Yeah.
And then 2 wounds. I'll take that. So next up, we've advanced with the Stuart and the infantry. We've kind of just swapped them around. Stuart staying out of line of sight of the ambushing tank, and they're both just going to spray into the down infantry squads. Now, JP's electing not to fire his ambush at the infantry with his Dakar tank for now. So, 8 shots first of all, and that's 4. Oh yeah, 5s, isn't it? Yeah, it's not bad. And 4s, 1 wound, 3 up. Gets it. And then it's 9. Three again.
Yeah.
It's 2. Gotta fail some eventually. Flipping heck. And finally, the artillery observer calls in a strike from the rear batteries in the middle of the Italian forces. Next dice is also British. And I've called in another airstrike with my second Ford artillery observer in between the howitzer, the Basigliere and the autocannon tank. Next dice is Italian, and he's advancing the Basigliere squad right into the teeth of the artillery bombardment. He's going to spray the LMG at the British Ford observer.
Gets 2 hits.
Nice. 4s.
Gets
1 wound. And I've got a 3 up. A 4 up. I'll make it. Next up, it's a British dice. We're going for an advance with our veteran Tommies. I'm avoiding getting into that jungle there because he can just hammer into it with a load of autocannons, howitzer shots and stuff. He's deciding to use the ambush on his MB42.
Yeah.
And so he... MB1542. M1542. We'll get there eventually, people. Sorry, Italian fans. How many dice is it? 12.
4 machine guns.
12 on 4s. 4 machine guns.
That's a solid burst.
That's a solid burst. 5's needed though. Just the 1. And then I've got a 5 up cover save against this, which I do make. And then I get to fire. Now time for the Tommies to fire back. With that pin, it's going to be 6s to hit. We have got one though. That's a 4th pin over on these guys. No wounds though. We're at the tail end of turn 1 now. Just giving you a little bit of an update. I've elected to go down with my officer and Gurkhas in the truck. Just waiting to see if the airstrike comes in. We're not in any rush just yet. And then over here, I've also elected to go down with the Piat squad, and JP's got his final dice. He's gone to, he's manoeuvred his car a little bit, gone down with the squad of paratroopers in the truck. Do you know what you're going to do, JP?
I'm debating when to move forward or just stay still for now.
And the Italians elect to go on ambush with their little armoured car. That's an LMG. 3 dice for the Brits. I manoeuvre my Bren carrier, so I'm staying out of line of sight of his ambushing super heavy anti-tank gun, and I pop some shots into his regular squad. I actually kill one off camera and get another pin on there. And now I've just reversed a little bit and angled my Humber so I can see his tank, but he cannot shoot me with his ambushing super heavy anti-tank gun once again. So we've got to see if we can hit him. It's going to be a 5. He's going for a shot on the tank now that he's fired his ambush at my veterans. And we need a 5 to hit. No. End of the turn, and we've got a little bit of ambushes for JP. He's going to fire his howitzer and his super heavy anti-tank gun indirect using his spotter. And what are you shooting at?
So roll for this one first. He can't.
He can't. So they both fail their ambush. Electing to stay on ambush with the armoured car, his autocannon tank and his regular infantry over here. So we're in a bit of a Mexican standoff. Gurkhas versus gun line, and you're staying down
with the 8-man.
with the 7-man squad to clear the pin, so they'll be down next turn as well. So he's certainly stalled on both flanks, and then I guess we'll do a little bit of a sweep down the Italian lines. As we've seen, he's done a couple of manoeuvres there, taking his ambush back off that car. He's got squads, just basically not much movement from the Italians. The Basigliere are probing forward along the edge of the oasis over there. And on the Brit side of things, it's a similar story. Stalled on our left flank. We've got some movement with veteran infantry up around the edge of the oasis, putting some serious pins into the Italian infantry, but no casualties, and they will clear those pins. And then over here, just being cagey against all of his anti-armour. Although our vehicles are pretty evenly matched, that super heavy anti-tank gun being able to hit on a 3 against my armoured vehicles from ambush is just absolutely brutal. So we'll have to see what we can do. Hopefully these airstrikes come in now. JP's electing to take this armoured car off ambush as well, just before I roll my airstrikes. So now I'm going to see if this one comes in on the right. Come on, lad. Yep, he's in on a 4. And then in the middle here, can we get a double? No. Okay, so a 4 and a 1. That's both artillery barrages coming in either way. We've just got to see where this particular strike lands. It is backwards, but it's only... oh, I've rolled 4 dice. Oh, no. Is that 10 inches?
10 inches.
Probably off the board, I imagine.
Yeah, easy.
Okay. So that one's okay. It's clear, though. And then this one's coming in. So how far is the blast radius? And it's going to be 9 inches in total. Will I get that squad there? Not quite.
So it's bang, bang, and back.
Howitzer, tank, and infantry squad. Not
the
off the Basigliere. Oh, it's a hit.
Okay.
Then the tank. Come on. Come on. No. That's just going to be a couple of pins. We'll saw that in a second. Oh, it's a hit on the artillery as well. Right, okay, let's grab a template. 3 pins on the tank. It's 2. I'm happy with that. Okay, now the wounds. So on the Basigliere, and 2 are going to survive, but it is going to be D3 pins. It's only 1 pin. That's not too bad. And then we've got
a full veteran squad.
Well, I mean, they're not wiped out. No, it is pen like 4 in it, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've killed off the medium howitzer, which is a great result. JP's electing to keep the LMG and the NCO, so he's going to need a 9 here. Oh, it's a foobar. Well, he obviously doesn't shoot anyone, but he's gone. First dice of turn 2, and it's British. We're going for another massive snap 2 with our company commander, advancing with 2 squads of veteran Tommies over here. And we're going for the forward observer for a quick blast. And then we're also going to advance with our tank as well. First blast of artillery wasted on this flank. We're having to advance into unpinned units and heavy fire support. We're going to have to try and do something about that. It's the first veteran squad. They've passed their order check. It's going to be 8 shots into the super heavy anti-tank gun. Needing 5s. It's a good... Oh, it's a great burst. 4 hits. I'll take that from the LMGs. Force to wound. It's 3 wounds, but he does have a soft cover save from that angle. Makes 1. So that's 2 dead. Our leadership passes. Oh, that's a great result, though. The next Tommy veteran squad advances. We're having to spray past our friendly squad, so only 1 LMG can safely do that. And he gets only 1 hit. It is a wound, though. Can JP save it? No. On a 3. It's another order check, this time on 2 pins, so needing a 7 to pass.
Yes.
Okay, so should be okay. And an 8. Yeah, he's okay because of the officer. Next up is the steward's turn. Now, this time I was tempted to drive out and engage, get the first shot on his tank, but I actually don't think I could have seen him with the movement that I had around this obscuring terrain. So it's going to be 9 shots into the remaining super heavy anti-tank gun crew. from my 3 medium machine guns. Now, he has elected to go down. Needing 5s. It's 3. Then needing 4s. We've got 2. And he's got a 3-up save here. And he's failed both of them. So that is both heavy support, both artillery guns dealt with now. But it is also most of my force activated. Fourth dice of the Snap 2 is of course the forward artillery observer. He's put his second and final blast right on this regular squad on this flank here. And then I've got another dice with the Brits, and we're going for the Humber. Now the Humber and the M5042, yes, we did it. They can see each other through soft cover. So I'm just gonna stay still, shoot a shot on a 3. It's a 1. Let the duel commence. A couple of dice back and forth. Now it's time for the Italians to try and pass an order check with their autocannon tank. He's going for a run order, needing a 9 thanks to the officer. He passes it. Oh, where's he going? All the way over here. Support the tank, the armoured duel over on the left flank for the Italians. Next up, it's the Italian Dakar tank, the M1542. With those 2 pivots, you can do some really interesting manoeuvres. He sidestepped the obscuring palm grove here, so we can get a shot with his light anti-tank gun into the front of the Stuart. We will have soft cover against each other, and also his hull-mounted machine guns. That's 6 shots into the Tommy squad in front of him. They'll also have light cover though.
Okay, so big gun first on the 5?
No.
And 6 shots on 5s.
Ah, nothing at the end of turn 2. Now we have one final thing to do before we give you guys the end of turn summary, and we need to see if this regular squad can fire their ambush off on a 4-up.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. And I believe he's going to try and shoot the LMG 4 shots across that spotter. He actually cleared his pin.
3 hits.
3 hits, nice. 2 wounds, and I've got 2 4-ups. It will be a dice out. So he's got one of them. So he's killed my forward observer. But I have got the strike called in. However, a dice is a dice at the end of the day. And the Italians need it at this stage. They've been hammered by artillery, and the Brits have been using their company commander to push hard on the British right flank. Over on the left flank, the autocannon car manoeuvred to put a couple of shots into the Gurkha's truck. It used Recce to just twist a little bit and hide again behind the palm grove. Now, I'm not in any rush with these Gurkhas. At the end of the day, if they just hold off JP from getting anything off the board on this edge, that's good enough for me, and maybe we can do a dash. We'll just see how the game develops. It's only turn 2 at the end of the day, and we have got a truck. Over on the right flank, as we saw, Brits using their company commands to just pull 4 dice and just focus a hail of small arms fire into the back of the table edge there by advancing forward. Not accurate fire, but weight of lead killed off the howitzer squad. And that was both artillery guns dealt with by the end of turn 2. We ended up going on ambush over here, just holding off JP from hopping out with his veteran squad, maybe shooting his Panzer Faust at my Piat Bren or something like that. In terms of manoeuvres, I brought my company commander just up, using my other armoured vehicles for cover into the middle of my forces for more effective snap 2ing. And now that we've advanced on this flank, and JP, as we can see here, just advanced forward with the veterans in the armoured car, a transport. He was thinking about hopping out, I think, but decided against it in the end. And then as we can see, JP just consolidating his armour on this flank. He may have lost his super heavy anti-tank, and that's a big threat dealt with for my light armour. But now he's got an autocannon tank and a Dakar tank ready to defend against my British push. And with all that being said, it's time to roll to see if the artillery comes in to support the push. This could be critical now. So over on this flank, it's a 2. We'll have to wait. This flank not going well for the artillery. And over here, he's manoeuvred most of his units out of the way, so it's probably just going to be these guys if it comes in. And again, delayed. Wow, okay, so no artillery at the moment. Must be letting the guns cool after the last barrel. First dice of turn 3 is Italian. He's going for a snap 2 with his command tank, pulling an extra dice for the autocannon tank. He's firing himself. He's going to get the autocannon tank to advance around the corner if he can pass an order check. 9. Yes, he's okay. First up, he's going for a fire order on the M1542. He's putting the hull mounted into this back squad of Tommies. I'm going to stay up because I've got cover from the front squad. And then he's putting the main gun, light anti-tank gun, into the front of the Stuart.
3 onto the Stuart.
Yes, the hit. A 2 is a bounce. There's a pin.
2, 3, 6 shots into the infantry. Rolling crap tonight.
No wounds, just the pin. The cannon tank advances round to give his chassis as cover to the bigger tank, and then he's also going to spray 2 autocannon shots straight into these veterans. I'm not going down.
Miss.
Misses with both. Yes. Okay.
It's just one of those games.
Next up, it's the Brits. We're going for a snap 2 with the platoon commander. We're going for 2 dice on the Piat team and its Bren carrier. We're going for a veteran squad. Over here, we're going for the Stuart, and that's it for now. Okay, Stuart has passed his order check. We're going for a shot into the autocannon tank, needing a 3. It's a 1. Next, the veteran Tommy's advance. It's going to be 10 shots into his regulars. He's decided to go down. Oh, it's an incredible burst. 4's needed. Do you still get a few? The luck holds. And then you've gone down for 3 up. And you only fail 1. Carrier advances in between the palm tree grove and the oasis. He's going to spray 4 shots from the LMGs into the down regular squad. It's another hit. I'll take the pin. There's no wounds though. Team advances out. They're going to pop a shot into the front of that autocannon tank. Point blank, it's a hit. Armour 7?
8.
You sure?
100%.
It's a double pen either way. Light him up. Yes, we do. Good work, boys. Next dice is also British. We're advancing in column formation up towards the Italian line, spraying 10 shots into these regulars that are down. Just seeing if we can get another pin on there. We've got 2 hits. Force a wound. We get a couple of wounds. See if we can get one through. He's down, so he makes the cover saves. Italians have had a couple of dice. They've decided to start getting forward. They've moved their car with officer towards the British forces over here, and they've advanced, even though it's in range of the artillery strike with 1 officer over here. Got to make a dash towards my deployment zone. Now I've got a dice for the Brits. I'm in an interesting position. He's got threatening units on both flanks that are mobile that I need to deal with. But right now I'm going to take the bait and shoot this Tommy squad with their 2 LMGs across at his car with the officer in the car. 2 hits, is it? I'm just firing, yeah, I'm just firing. I'm used to advancing and firing, I was thinking 5s. Okay, needing a lucky 6, nothing but a pin. Officer squad passes its order check and it's hopping out to spray 3 SMGs into my Piat team. Perfect for what their abilities are, yeah, exactly.
All hit.
Oh, amazing. That's a lot of wounds. So I can make a heroic cover save here. 5 up. I tried my best, but that's a dice out of the bag. I'm happy with that exchange though. The company commander's ride, the Bren, does a little advance and he's just going to shoot at the officer squad that disembarked and killed my Piat. 4 shots. Oh, it's 3 hits. Are you veteran or reg? You're veteran. We do get a wound and he's got cover of 4 up there. Yes, he makes it, but it's a pin. We are down to the last couple of dice of turn 3. I've had to blink first in the standoff on this flank on the right. My Humber's advanced, and instead of firing over past the hard cover into his tank, I've decided to go for his transport. Now he has recce'd into really good soft cover, but you can't quite get out of line of sight. Right, it's a miss though. The trap is sprung. I can't say I didn't see this coming. I'm just relying on blind luck for this not to wreck my flank. JP's getting excited over in the corner, dropping dice. Let's see if he can pull this off. So he's got a Faust, and he's got 7 SMGs into the veteran squad back here on 4s.
Okay, so the Faust on a 3.
Faust on a 3. Yes, a hit. It's a 2 plus a 5 or 6. I can't remember. We'll have to check the book. We'll have to literally look that up. So that is a pen on the Humber there. What's he going to get? Oh, he's knocked it out. Just what he needed. And then it's going to be 14 shots into my veterans and on 4s. Looks healthy to me. It's about right, about average.
No,
pretty good. 5s to wound. Done nothing. That's the second time you've done that, man.
Nothing unbelievable.
But you know, Humber Dad, and that's great work. Next up, it's the Brits, and I'm going for a snap 2 on my last 3 dice. We've got to get this done. It leaves my truck vulnerable to his autocannon. But hey, you know, we can't hide forever. Yeah. Now, what I've done is I've decided to advance the truck forward, and I've hopped my Gurkhas and officer out, using this bit of dense for cover from most of his units. I'm just trying to stay over 12 from my own artillery strike. Heaven forbid it scatters into my own forces. That could be the end of me. Now, we've already fired with my officer off camera, and he missed both shots. Now it's 10 rifle shots to JP's platoon commander here. It's only 2 hits. But he's no cover. Oh, he lives.
He lives.
The Auto Blinder 41 advances and pivots to put his rear towards the Gurkhas. He's going to spray his autocannon and 3 machine gun shots into the Gurkhas.
Yeah, machine guns first on 5s.
Oh, he's got a couple of hits.
And then the autocannons on 5s as well.
Misses with both. That's the order I wanted.
Machine guns, just a pin.
Just a pin, but it wouldn't have knocked out the truck either. Finally, we've got 10 shots from the regular Italian infantry, just spraying across into the Gurkhas, trying to stay put and just fire. It's relatively...
awful again.
Just not getting the look here. Can you get the wounds though?
It's 1 through.
1 through. And I pass the cover save. And with that, it is the end of turn 4. As we can see, the Brits pushing up to the centre with some veteran forces now, although they are going to be harassed by the autocannon truck, and they've got some infantry in their way before they can get up into JP's deployment zone. Over on the right flank, the Brits pushing successfully, despite the lack of airstrikes coming in yet. Just that snap 2 from the company commander.
So powerful.
So powerful. And the Bren just allowing him to reposition. You can always just pull 4 dice. And you just basically pick something and hammer it. Or pick a job that you need doing.
Yeah.
And you can get that job. Yeah, get that job done. So if you think about it carefully, you can really do some work that slows down your opponent at the same time. However, it's not all gone the Brits' way. Just in terms of dice pulls and this, that and the other. Ultimately, I chanced it by firing these guys instead of keeping them on ambush like I did last turn. And he hopped out. He got that Panzerfaust into point blank range. And although the veterans took nothing but a pin, the Humber is now knocked out. And he did manage to kill my Piat with his officer team. So through clever use of his resources, he has managed to kill 2 of my anti-armor options, but I've only taken out one of the light ones of his this turn. So certainly catching up on the dice and definitely doing the damage that he needs to do, despite a couple of bad luck rolls in terms of the small arms fire. So with that, we're not putting dice in the bag. JP's not going to go down with anything, are you, JP? So we're just going to...
That position of cards anyway.
So we're just going to roll to see what comes in. He's decided he's also got quite a few units close to this artillery strike now. Come on. It comes in. That's what we needed. And then over here, I could really do with this coming in. Oh, it's bouncing. Yes, it has. That's a 6, a precious 6 used up before the shells land, though. Right, okay, let's see what we get. I'll grab range on the Italian right flank for the kill range. Oh, it's 11, so that could even get that officer there. Not quite. 2 units. First of all, we'll go for the regulars. Come on, lads. Oh, it's a hit! Oh, yes, tickety boo, sir. And then we'll go for the officer as well.
It'll be a hit, I'm guaranteeing it.
It's
been one of those games, come on.
Oh, not quite, I felt it. D3 pins on him. It's 3 pins though, can't complain about that. We'll come over here now. It's the range, tense moment. It's a 6, another precious 6 used up on this flank. Okay, that's 12 inches.
Oh, that's your squads as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
My squad's my brand as well, yikes. Okay, so we've got a lot of rolls over here and all of yours. Okay, we'll go for the tank first. I think I might need more dice halfway through this. It's a D3 pins on the tank. Officer squad, but I could clip the tank with this. No, D3 again. Car. No, the one that's still D3. Your squad, D3. Uh-oh.
Come on,
I'm not feeling good about this now.
6s for Britain.
Oh, almost it bounced. Oh, so no shell strike on this flank.
D3 pins across the board.
Ton of pins to do. Okay, so your tank. 2 pins. Your officer. 2 pins. Your squad. 2 pins. Your car. Just the 1. So he goes up to 2 though. Then my Bren takes the 1 and my squad takes 2 though. Okay, and then we just have to come over here and do the wounds. Then that's probably going to be everyone. No worries. So 8 dice on the regular squad. I did hit the regular squad, didn't I?
Yeah, you hit the regular.
6, 7, 8. Okay. Any ones?
1.
There's 1. D3 pins. It's only the 1 pin. Giving your officer or your LMG?
LMG, obviously.
You're okay.
Right.
Especially with your officer nearby. But 8 men down to 1 man. That's not ideal. First dice of turn 4 is British. We've gone for the classic by now, the Snap 2 with the company commander. We've actually gone for the tank. This Tommy squad, the Bren up here who's passed his order check, and also this Tommy squad down here who have also already passed their order check. So straight into firing with these guys. It's going to be 10 shots over into his veterans in soft cover. Hitting on 4s. It's not bad at all.
Good burst.
And then wounding on 5s though. It's 3 wounds in soft cover. Ah, he's lost all 3. Good start. Next up, the Stuart advances into point blank range of these paras using the burning Humber for hard cover. Needing 3s.
Okay.
It's okay. 5s. 3.
Burst again.
It's just crazy. Soft cover. He's failed all 3. Okay, that's an order check on 2 pins.
Stubborn paratroopers. Passes.
Next, the veteran squad advance down the side of the dense palm grove, staying out of it in case we want to run next turn. We're going to shoot 8 shots across at the remaining paratroopers, and I'm dropping dice because I'm excited. Needing 5s here. It's another solid burst of 3. 5s again. We get a hit. Can I get the cover save this time? No, once again, he's just passing none of these. Another order check, but he's still stubborn. He's not stubborn anymore because he's last man. But he passes it nonetheless. Finally, my Bren carrier goes on ambush. Next dice is Italian. JP decides to flee with his officer away from the Gurkhas because Last time we shot in that direction, he was within 12 inches charge range. Italians get a couple of dice. They run one officer back behind a dense palm grove and run the other forward, passing an order check to get behind this sand dune here and towards my deployment zone. I go next. Decide to activate the Gurkhas before they take any more pins. I've got a foo bar.
If I want to run my guy away.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I also got a 1 to 3. So if he hadn't run away, I would have shot the truck or something like that. But fortunately, I just run backwards towards my own lines, although it probably takes them out of scoring range. So that's a big deal for JP. Despite having been stubborn now, JP passes the order check with the paratrooper to hop into the transport. Next up, I pass an order check with the veteran Tommies. Now, we've got the LMGs within point blank range. We've got half the squad within an inch of the edge of the area terrain. So he's not getting the soft cover, apart from a couple of rifles there. Oh no, he won't get the soft cover and he won't get the hard cover either, because 5 of my guys can just see straight past that burning tank. So 8 shots on forward because of my pin. Oh my gosh, look at that.
What can I do, guys? Come on.
And it's all fun and games. We we just laugh it off. It's all fun and games. And then
5's for veteran.
5's for vet. That's another great roll. Kills him. All 3. Italians get the next dice. They're going for an order check on the command tank. Now, he only needs an 8 because of his own buff, but the officer is dead. Passes it, no worries, and then he's just going to fire point blank into these veterans here. 12 shots on 3s because of the pin. That's a very solid burst.
And 5. That's a lot better. No, it's not.
3's okay. 3's about right. Right, okay, so soft cover, 5 ups. We passed 2 of them.
Honest to God.
Okay, 1 guy dead. I have to take a casualty. Last couple of British dice of turn 4. I did a run with my forward observers up to the midway point now, and once the way was cleared or a bit safer, I advanced my platoon commander here up the hill. He's made quite some distance at this point in the game. I also put my truck on ambush, thinking I was being clever. If he shot at me, I'd just dart up here. However, JP has managed to get his car up into closer than my Gurkhas. Didn't even think of that. And so that truck will disappear, and then he's going to fire his machine gun into the Gurkhas, and he's also putting 2 shots from the autocannon on 5s into my veteran officer, who was in charge of the recce platoon on 5s. What are you going for first?
Also cannon on 5s.
Auto cannon on 5s.
Yes.
Yes, he gets a hit. Okay, wounding on a 4 up. No. D2. It is 2 pins though. Could help. Pins are all you need at this point, potentially.
Machine gun into your guys. Gets 1 hit.
Gets a kill, and there's no cover there. With that, it is the end of turn 4. The auto blinder doing good work. A 3rd pin on the Gurkhas, a unit killed, and 2 pins on the officer, who's within dashing range of his board edge. Great work over there, using that manoeuvrability and the 2 weapons. Over on the right flank, of course, the Brits have plenty of dice within dashing range of scoring his deployment zone at least. Maybe we'll be able to get something off the board as well, who knows. Although he does have essentially 2 dice 6 points sat over here in a recce vehicle, so if I shoot at him he can just dash off the board because he's over the halfway point, which is nice. So the single pivot is all he needs. It's interesting. You only have 1 pivot. There is sneaky manoeuvres I can do, potentially. He's not got many for us. This squad's just been forced down all game, but now they have no pins on them. They're not down. They're ready to get involved as the Brits press into their deployment zone. But 2 squads of vets versus a tank and a squad of regs is what it's looking like. We'll see. It's very close. Points in terms of kills. There's only one.
I'm holding on.
You're holding on. There's only one dice in it. So we've got the dice in the bag. Let's see what happens. There's no airstrike, no artillery either.
For once.
He's clear of artillery. He's light at the end of the tunnel here.
Still not clear of pins though.
Yeah, we'll have to see what we can make use of whilst we've still got a few pins on him. These Gurkhas are worrying me. I just feel like my bones I'm going to get another food bar, man. First dice of the turn is Brits. Now, instead of going for a snap 2, this time I advanced my Stuart and pivoted to block off the edge of the board so he couldn't get around my tank. He can't get through the soft sand of the dunes as it's difficult ground. So he's had to recce around this side. He's not getting off the board this turn, that's for sure. And so then we're still going to pop a shot at him and fire our machine guns, not at the recce car, but actually at the troops behind. Just try and get a pin on them. So first it's hitting on a 5 now. We were in point blank, now he's miles away. So we missed 6 shots into the infantry, and that's going to be 2 hits, 1 wound. I think he's got hard cover from that card. No, takes a casualty and a pin. Is still ringing from the howitzer strike, which wiped out his squad mates. The remaining LMG regular is going to shoot at my officer in point blank range. I didn't see this coming. 2 hits. He's a veteran. 2 wounds. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. He's just dead. You got him. It's another Italian dice. He's getting the initiative burst he needed just when he needed it. He's advanced into point blank of my officer here, and he's going to shoot down into my forward artillery observer over here. Now, we'll get soft cover, and there's no point in me going down. Let's see what you can get.
So 3s on this guy. Hits with 5.
Okay, that's a good burst. Wounds with 1.
Shotgun again.
Okay, let me see if I pass this. No, he's dead.
And 6 into the other guy.
Now this is going to be 5s, right?
Good hits on 3s. He's regular, yeah.
Just the 1 again. Soft cover again. Come on, lad. No, 2 kills. That's just what you needed. I was relying on those boys to score as well. It's a British dice, and we're going for a snap 2 now. It's going to be 4 dice pulled from the bag. A run on this Bren carrier here, an advance on this Tommy squad here, a fire order on this Tommy squad here, and then the Bren carrier itself is also going for a run order. Bren carriers run a couple of inches away from the board edge there. Now we're going for a fire order. We're not quite in point blank range. We've got 10 dice on 5s here. Couple of hits. I'm looking for the pins more than anything. Just need to suppress these guys. It's a couple of wounds. Can you get the soft cover? You can get 1, so that's 1 casualty. Next up, the rear squad of veteran Tommies are going to spray across the board. Just 2 LMGs, 8 shots on 4s. Oh, that's a great burst, that. 4s. It's a solid burst, and then it's 4 ups because your car's definitely giving cover. Still lose 3. Is that half the squad?
It's more than half the squad.
Nice.
3 pins.
No officer nearby.
Need to pass this.
I'd love this to run off now. 7, 8, 9, 10. He's regular.
Fails.
No officer nearby, no.
No.
That is just what we needed, because that was a real gamble there. The company commander's Bren finishes the manoeuvre by dashing up between the squads of veterans. Italian officer hidden behind this rocky outcrop from last turn. He's going to pop a shot into the Bren, try and put a pin on it. Gets the hit, that's all he needs. Platoon commander continues to dash up the left flank, having passed his order check.
As far away from his Gurkhas as possible.
Dice, the Italian car manoeuvres across the halfway mark on the rocky outcrop. Past their order check, advance down the scree slope. They're going to shoot across into this regular officer hiding in the bushes. So it's going to be 5s. I've dropped 1, but it's a good start. No. Yes. Okay, and then needing 4s for a wound. We've got 1. Can we do what he did to us? It's a 1. He's dead. Sweet. Last dice for the Brits, turn 5. The Italians still have a couple in the bag. Tempted to go down with these Gurkhas, just not risk running off. Just feel like I'm going to get a foo bar here. I'm going to risk it, go for the advance. Needing a 7. Oh, we make it. The Gurkhas have advanced. They've lined up a great shot. They're going to need it because they're hitting on 6s. Shots on 6s. No hits. The auto-blinder manoeuvres around the back of the Gurkha squad. He's got his rear-mounted machine gun facing at those guys. And he's going to pop 2 shots from his autocannon into the side of the Stuart. I guess a hit. 6 to pen. Oh, you're over half range, so it'll be a 6 to glance, but never mind. Still D2 pins, right?
Pins. 1.
Oh no, it would be 1 pin because you wouldn't be you can't fire the HE version at it, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We caught it in time.
3 into the Gurkhas. 3 hits. No kills.
No kills.
Just a pin.
But 3rd pin. Final Italian dice and final dice of the turn is the paratrooper in the truck. He's just going to go down. No point hopping out at this point. So that brings us to the end of turn 5. Very interesting turn. The Brits have their Stuart protecting this flank, but the Italians have brought a motorcade manoeuvring between the sand dunes and the palm groves towards my deployment zone and table edge. So we've still got plenty of scoring potential there. I have most of my forces focused on getting into his deployment zone, with 1 certainly able to get off the board in turn 6. Or we hope at least. He's still got a tank knocking around, but I have got Recce, so I think that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Over on this side, the Gurkhas, they're not scoring anything anymore, trying to affect the points game by shooting at this officer, but no dice. They do remain, barely scratched, but heavily pinned, and the auto blinder's right there. But JP's basically looking at not many resources left to defend his deployment zone whilst also scoring in mine. But in terms of kills, it is 7 all, so it's all to play for going into what could be the final turn of the game. First dice of turn 6, and with a snap 2, the company commander advances his Bren behind that tank. He also orders one of the Tommy veteran squads to run, another one to advance fully within the deployment zone of the Italians. I attempted to go on ambush, so when this car went, I could shoot at him, but I decided to secure my own points first. I also ran off with the Piat Bren. The Piat team's dead, but the Bren has scored 3 points already. That's secured. Next dice is Italian. He's going for an order check on this car. We're doing it on camera because it's important. He's okay, so he can do a run. Just a pivot and straight off. Italian dice. He's going to try and pass an order check to run this officer off before the Gurkhas shoot him. A 9 with his own buff of 2. He's going to run off because he's regular. It's another Italian dice. He's advancing the tank into point blank. This infantry squad here, and my Bren containing an officer. Now I could have stayed in ambush, but then if he didn't shoot at me, I wouldn't have been able to Recce. Yeah.
So big gun on a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he gets a hit.
Gets the hit.
Oh,
it's a 1. Okay, I'll take that.
And then it'll be 6 shots into your squad in the open.
6 squats into the vets.
3s.
Yeah.
2.
2.
No cover.
No cover, 2 dead. Brits have had another flurry of dice. They've advanced this squad out into the open here, and they're not looking to score, but they just need positioning in case we go to turn 7. And I've actually put the Stuart on ambush because my best chance, I think, of winning this is trying to shoot him if he manoeuvres into my deployment zone, because that's a decent amount of points sat in that vehicle there. I try and hunt him down, he's just going to escape. Italians now have 4 dice. This lone LMG gunner, there's no pins on him, he's going to just fire 4 shots over into my veterans here. Moving 4s.
5's no loader, but 2 hits.
Oh, 5's no loader.
No, just another pin on that.
JP goes for the advance order with his car. I'm going to try and pop a shot with the tank as he dashes. He will get soft cover. We've got the hit. So it would be, I think, in the side, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We've got a double pen, 6. I'm on 9 in total. You're on a 6, yeah, double pen. Fails the soft cover save. Okay, come on, lad. Yeah, he's knocked out. That's literally tickety boo.
Yeah, that's fine. Kill the guy inside.
Potentially. Here's veteran. We get 4. Hopefully enough. Oh, resoundingly. He's hit by the shell on the way through the round.
That means you can't fight the ambush while he drives off the board.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the game ends now.
Because it'll be a draw, won't it? Probably. We'll have to have a look. Have you got any more dice?
Well, no, you just killed the last 2. So you killed him, and he drives off.
He drives off with your last dice. Okay, so.
And the turn 6.
Yeah, let's have a look. As we look at the board at the end of turn 6, we've got the Gurkhas here. 3 pins. I just went down with these guys. Didn't want to risk a food bar off the board. We've realised on checking the rules that there's no points for kill points.
Yeah, that's why I just throw them.
So slight miscalculation on our part there. It's a good job we caught it at the end of turn 5. So it's 1 point per unit in the enemy deployment zone and 3 points for each unit that's driven off. Now JP's got 3 units off the board this turn.
Yeah. A
car, an officer, and the auto blinder. I've got 1 unit off the board this turn, but I have got 4 in his deployment zone. So overall it's 7 to 9.
So I need it to end now.
You need it to end now.
Right now.
Could he win? Do you want to roll the dice?
I've rolled crap all day. Watch me roll a 6 now.
Ah, he gets it. The game the game continues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I thought the game had ended there.
And win. First dice.
Yeah, if I can get first dice, snap 2, I can get all of this off the board. Come on. That's just what we needed. Oh, JP, you fought tooth and nail, clawed it back. Didn't even need this guy in my deployment zone. Somehow, despite the Italians having 2 dice left in the bag to the British 7, it's a blue dice first and JP gets to go first. Now, we actually have a rules question for all of you at home. So comment down below if you think you know the answer. Essentially, it comes to this. JP's decided to tank shock to assault with his tank. Now, we've settled on the fact that you can certainly do a pivot and charge. You don't have to charge in a straight line like you did in version 2. So he can line up the shot and charge into me, but he is only about 6 inches away. And it does say he's just under 6 inches away.
Yeah.
And so I cannot make a recce maneuver in this situation. All of that we're confident about. However, it does very clearly specify that the tank must go a minimum of a minimum of 9 inches, essentially, in order to get the ram. So my thinking is that, you can essentially ram with a vehicle if against another vehicle, or in general, if it's over 9 inches to 18 inches, because that, with infantry, of course, you can clear straight through them out the other side. But fighting against other vehicles, you come to a halt immediately, regardless of whether you win or not. And that would stop him going the full 9 inches that he needs to go. So I hope I've explained that clearly enough to you guys.
Yeah.
Long story short, rule of cool, we're allowing it, but if this is wrong, then essentially I automatically win, because whether he strafes up this squad and kills them off, or whether he shoots at this squad, I can recce off the board within 6 inches from a shot, just not from a tank assault. So I would get a minimum of 3, maybe 4 squads off the board first this turn, and certainly win the game. However, we'll do some hot tank on tank action. Why not? So we've read the rules in detail, and essentially we're both going to roll a dice and add our armor value. Now, because I'm lighter than JP, even if I win, I still take superficial damage, and he only takes superficial damage. Okay. So I can't knock him out. He gets a 6, so there's nothing I can do here. Yeah, so he's
6+.
He gets to roll on the damage table against me, because he wins and he's heavier than me. Oh, and he's knocked it out. Okay, well, he's assaulted it, so I think my guys, I mean, do they just hop out?
I'd assume so. We'd have to check.
We're going to have to go back to the rulebook, people. We aren't quite sure whether the commander should have hopped out before the assault, because he is a... But then, would he defend the transport, the Bren against the assault? We're not entirely sure. So we're just going to, he was inside, the tanks got crushed. We're going to roll damage as normal for a transport. It's only one chance, and it doesn't kill him. So then I'm going to consolidate out.
It's a win for you then.
Are you sure?
Yeah, points. Yeah.
I make it 5 out, but I'm down. I mean, I'm in. He counts for 1 point.
Yeah.
So the officer is down in JP's deployment zone. I've run my Stuart, hopefully fully into JP's deployment zone. It's going to be on the wire. And then now I've run another squad off, and now I've got to pass an order check on these 2 here, or on these 2 pins. Oh, we make it because of the platoon commander giving us company commander giving us +4. But I saw that 6 and thought I'd food bad, so they make it off for another 3 points as well. Okay, so with that, this squad, I mean, I may as well just go down with them. They can't score. The Gurkhas are going down, so they don't risk a foobar off the board. JP can't shoot anything with this guy, so he's out of range of everyone. My officer's scoring, although the Bren isn't, and the Stuart is, you've got to be completely in their deployment zone, and his tail end is just still in no man's land. We've both run 3 units off the board. Kill points wise, it just doesn't matter. So it's overall, I believe, 10-9 to me because of this officer. So it's a draw in the Brits' favour.
But if we're wrong on the rules...
If we're wrong on the rules there, it's a victory for the Brits. But that is just epic there. So, I mean, if you can pull it off, fair play, man. GG. Epic end to an epic game. And overall, the Brits just have 3-4 units left on the battlefield. You've just got a tank and a lone infantryman with an LMG over here.
May have been arranged to shoot your officer, actually. But
maybe. I don't think you can see him because of the rocky outcrop between you and me. So, epic back and forth. A lot of vehicles knocked out. A lot of infantry killed. I think the Brits just really strong build. It's just a prototype list. There's some tweaks I'm going to do to it, but the core of it being
double observers is just, if it's right and we get 2 shots each.
I'm tempted by. I mean, I'm not that bothered by the armored vehicles. The Humber and the Stuart are kind of in because we're playing in Africa and whatever. Like I think possibly a 4th squad, although being able to activate a unit, it's like 3 squads with 2 LMGs with the company commander, and then something else for the 4th dice if you want it. So I don't think you necessarily need 4, although that's certainly something to try. I think 6 man is a solid number with all the pins and the artillery going off and them getting the jump on people a lot. It's 6 is enough. They do the damage, and then there's not much people can do in return. The artillery just absolutely bombing. I think I got quite lucky with the amount of hits I got, but the pins in themselves, you were either going down or you were getting hit or taking like 2 or 3 pins or whatever. So
it was the combination of the snap 2 and the bombardments. Like every turn, it just felt I was reacting to. I never got a dice where I could take advantage of it really till the end.
Yeah, as I ran out of bombardment, I then had a push into you. We got a few kills against each other, but through some clever positioning and a refusal to give up, you probably pulled a draw off there, I would say. In other news, the recce squad for the Gurkhas, I mean, they played an interesting dance. They stopped you scoring, but they didn't really stop you scoring off the board. You still got 2 units off, and because of a foobar on their side, they failed to kill your officer or get off your side of the board. But a foobar's a foobar. You're going to get one at some point in the game, and it's always going to be bad. And in this case, it cost me 1, 2, 3 points. Who knows? So I think, they were a viable enough selection, but we didn't really get to see them do much. So who knows if they'll stay on the list as well. What are you thinking about your Italians? What are you going to add to them?
I wasn't too happy with the artillery platoon. I think a heavy weapons platoon would suit the army better.
Just some machine guns and mortars.
Yeah, maybe upgrade the regulars to veterans. I think veterans are just still so powerful.
Veterans are really powerful because you can afford to because I was going to go, I had 4 units of regs, but I thought when I'm snap 2ing, I'm then taking fire in return. I can't go down at that point. You commit. So you get that burst off, but it's got to be effective. And even if it's not, you're taking fire back. So the vets are the perfect choice for that because they can grit their teeth, take a couple of pins if they've got cover, maybe only take a casualty here and there. So 6-man has been enough with 2 LMGs. Now, one thing I was thinking as we were playing, JP, is it's very interesting, your Italian army in sort of the V2 to V3 transition, if we were to think about it that way, because you start off with, well, you've got loads of light
I've got
vehicles,
lots of light vehicles,
and that seems great, cheap and certainly effective. You were getting the damage done, you were really defending your deployment zone, you had everything you needed, and essentially it came to a sort of a draw. We ended up having to do other things with our armour in the end. So I think, 3 light vehicles, every time I see it, it seems to be effective.
Yeah,
sure.
It's not too many points and it still allows you to take another 2 platoons that you can...
Yeah, and things like armoured cars, the auto blinder, they're just like 100-ish points, but they can still do a lot.
Yeah, the Italians have some really cool small vehicles that they can take. A lot of the tankettes, which I'm really looking into at the minute, having like 4 or 5 of them on the board, all with machine guns and stuff, could be interesting. Yeah, we have
had another game with, I think it was 4 light vehicles and another vehicle. And that, it seemed to almost push through the barrier to where it was, relatively effective. Because we haven't had much luck with vehicles in the early period of version 3, but now we're kind of finding the groove with them, which is certainly heartening because I love me some vehicles.
It just makes the board look better.
Yeah, it's cool as well. So yeah, that's interesting. They seem to be good points value and dice ratio in the back. So that's another thing to think about. Let us know what you think in terms of vehicles and what experiences you're having in your games down below. So it's very interesting. A lot of lessons learnt. I think both lists were powerful enough, but definitely both need to be adapted as we go into version 3. So let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Let us know what your opinion is on the old tank shot that we did against the Recce Bren over on this corner of the board at the end of the turn. And let us know what you're doing with your army to upgrade it from version 2 to version 3. I'm a hair's breadth away from having the fins upgraded. The next battle report we film, I think it's going to be fin time, I'm hoping. I've got some JP's seen my painting table today and it's like, blooming heck, that doesn't look nice.
It doesn't look nice to play against the Tars.
The fins are looking spicy.
The Soviets a little bit to counter them.
So we're both going to be hurriedly painting away in an arms race over the next week until we get our next filming session in. So let us know what you're doing in your arms race against your friends as you get your first few games into version 3. Let us know how they're going. And also, just in general, if you enjoy what we do here, give us a like and a subscribe. Just takes you a second and it really helps the channel out. And it also means you don't miss out on all of our weekly bolt action content. And a big shout out to our members. We just really appreciate you guys massively. Helps with us keeping this channel going. So, with all that being said, we hope you found this video interesting and entertaining. This has been the Scholar Progenium. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.